I noticed that my holes are starting to get chewed up. Like you can see here on the edge, it's got a little nick taken out of it, right here and right here, a little bit here. Oh, that's just scrap. Some of this is just debris, but like this is an actual abrasion in the edge itself. So I decided to look at my drill bit, my little hole saw here, if I can get it to focus. And sure enough, you see on this side the tooth looks alright, kind of worn. But then you drop down to this one here, and it is very clearly broken. So it is time for me to go out and get a new hole saw. Got to replace that thing. Actually, while I'm there, I'm going to look into other options. This is doing a good job. Well, it was doing a good job as far as the cutting quality, but it was taking an awful lot of effort. So I thought maybe of using one of those boring bits, the one that looks like a little cone. You know, it's supposed to bore it out 1 millimeter at a time. But I think this might be too thick, a little too heavy to use one of those. So then I thought, man, a regular drill bit just cuts right through this, actually pretty easy. So I was thinking about finding just a solid drill bit, but I don't think a solid drill bit exists that's this size that I can actually use in this drill press. So this little hole saw, this style setup might be my only option unless I'm unaware of something else. I guess I'll look while I'm there, but I gotta go replace that. Alright, got a new bit. This one is a little bit different than this old one. You can see it's shorter, not as deep, but it appears to have the same tooth design. Also has a different back on it. This old one is like this. This new one is like this, but it's the only style that this hardware store carried. I didn't go to the same one I usually go to, like where I bought this one. This hardware store is closer to my house. But this was made in Japan, and apparently it's meant for this kind of work, so we'll see how it goes. Well, I cut that hole with it, and I was just about to say, holy crap, this bit's really nice. Because it cut through nice and clean, and also in record time. It took like no time at all to cut right through there. But then I started on this hole, and something strange happened. Back of the bit broke off. Goddamn. I stopped by the hardware store and I grabbed two things. I grabbed a new hole saw. This one, I just grabbed I went to a different hardware store, one that I very rarely go to, but it is close to work and they have a pretty good selection. But this is just the beefiest, angriest looking hole saw I could buy. So hopefully that holds up. And then I also got this little, like this low profile vise that I can put here on my drill press. That way I don't have to keep using the clamps over and over and over again. I can just open this up and tighten it, slide it, tighten it, that sort of thing. So I'm going to get that stuff set up so that tomorrow I can hopefully get the rest of this stuff finished. As it turns out, these holes don't line up with the slots in my plate here, no matter how I twist it, the way I need to line it up. So I just clamped it down on all four corners, but it's nice and sturdy. And having this clamped down and having this there, it actually makes it much easier for me to slide this through and then clamp it in place. With this new bit and this nice sturdy base, I'm actually cutting through this stuff faster than ever, and the holes are looking pretty clean too. Alright, so another update. This one was cutting fantastically well for a while, but all of a sudden out of nowhere it just stopped cutting as well. I figured some of the teeth might have broken on it just like the old one, but I couldn't see anything wrong. So then I thought maybe it just got too hot and I took it off. I then took a break and went over. This is actually the new one. I replaced it with they said I can just swap it out for another one because it shouldn't have broke. So I replaced it with this brand new one. It went through one hole, just like the first one. Now on the second one, about halfway through, it broke, just like the first one did. So took that back off, and by this point, this one had cooled off. It was nice and cool again. Put this back on, and all of a sudden, pow, pow, it's just cutting right through like brand new. So I guess this really is the best one for me to use. I just have to take my time and be slow about it. Well, I can cut through fast, but after a few cuts I need to let it cool down. So this upright this side of the squat rack is done. All 4 safety pins are done, 2 for each side. This, one of the uprights for the other side is done. This pull-up bar that also keeps the top of the squat rack at a proper distance from one another, that is done. Well, actually not completely done. I still have to drill the holes to bolt them in. And now I'm started on the last upright. Once this upright is done, I can drill the holes in there, and then basically at that point the entire thing is ready to put together and use. Well, I still have to degrease it and paint it, but other than that, ready to use after I get this upright done. Well, I've let this cool off overnight, so it should be good to cut who knows how many holes before it starts to wear down or start to kind of get lazy on me. But I did go out and buy another one last night. This being brand new. Once this one starts to get a little too hot, it's not cutting as well, I can just switch it out with this new one. And then once this one starts getting too hot, I can switch it back to that one. And hopefully I can finish this one beam today and finally finish the power rack. Well, there it is, the final weld of this side of the squat rack. I had it tilted up like this so that I could more easily weld into that corner right there. But now it's ready to stand up and basically start using. Alright, I've got both sides of the squat rack done, both sets of uprights. I've got the 2 safety pins for either side, and I've got the pull-up bar that's also going to act as the stabilizer for the top of the rack. Now all I got to do is put everything together. Well, I got to degrease it, which I'm going to use this. Never used it, see how it works. Degrease it, then paint it, and then put it together. Alright, I've got the uprights laid back, spread apart the appropriate amount. Got the pull-up bar in place, clamped in the exact center on both sides, so everything's lined up exactly where it needs to be. Now I'm going to drill through the holes that I already put up in the pull-up bar plates. Drill straight through those and into the C-channel at the very top. That way, once I stand it back up, everything's guaranteed to line up perfectly and be exactly where it needs to be, and I can bolt it all together and start using it. So, any minute now, getting very, very close to completion. Well, that's just about it. It's basically done. About time. I'm currently walking around and spraying it down with degreaser, wiping it down. That's taking a while because there's a lot of grease on it. So these shop towels I'm using are getting soaked pretty fast. But take a look. There it is. Still dirty. Still not cleaned and painted, but it is all together and ready to use. Oh wait, I forgot. I only have 2 bolts in there now because I bought a set and I didn't get one with enough washers and lock nuts that I wanted. I only had 4 when I forgot that I needed 8 because there's 4 per side. So I still need 2 more here and 2 more here. But other than that, ready to use. So I guess I should get this thing degreased, painted, and set up in the gym, ready to go. Thanks for watching.